Welcome. It is another beautiful day and I've got my coffee. So let's watch some stuff.
You've probably heard the conspiracy theory that Elvis is still alive, so here's the full tea on the rumor and why it exists. There are so many books and documentaries about this famous still being alive. Conspiracy theorists say that his gravestone is spelled wrong because he spelled his middle name with only one A, and that's because it's not him buried there. It was rumored that they were going to put a wax figure in his coffin, so someone paid his real cousin to take a photo, and then it was national news. The casket bearers were struggling holding the casket because wax figures have to be weighed down, so they're super heavy. Now, this theory that he faked his death
Unaliving
stems from the fact that he was working with the government, and he was a literal honorary assistant to the Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs.
There's a bad word here.
Because stopping the
There it is again.
epidemic was his passion. One day, while his father, who was his financer, was gonna go sell one of his planes because Elvis didn't need it anymore, he sold it to a con man who works with the mafia, who was using the plane to get
Canned
in and out of the country. And then Elvis went to his government pals and ratted on the mafia. So they put a hit out on Elvis, so Elvis had to go into the witness protection program, and he took this opportunity to work on his physical and mental health because it was really bad. But fans literally thought he was gonna come back one day, so they started the Elvis Sighting Secret Society. And they claimed that the same day he
reverse birthed.
people saw him getting on a plane to go flee the country to Argentina. And they claimed that they saw him as an extra in the Home Alone movies when he was about 55. The same year, they claimed they saw him in the background of a photo at Muhammad Ali's birthday party, which would make sense because they were friends when he was alive. They say he never truly left his beloved Graceland mansion, because in this photo, Elvis conspiracists say that they saw him sitting in his pool house. I'm gonna show you the craziest piece of evidence, but before I do, make sure you follow so you finally know the craziest conspiracy theories about each of these celebrities and requests you want to see next. People think Elvis is now living his life out in plain sight as the groundskeeper at his Graceland mansion because he never wanted to leave there. He has same bodily and facial features and would be about the same age in his 80s. And this would be his new identity in the witness protection program, and look at his shirt.
Now don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure when you go into the witness protection program, the last thing you do is anything that would make anybody think you are who you are trying not to be. Just, it's just a hunch. But yeah. Elvis still alive, huh? I apologize for the interjections. Only a little bit for the simple fact that, you're not allowed to say certain words on YouTube. And I couldn't help but stick my fat face in there. So there you go. Hey, I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate you hanging out for today's coffee talk. If you're having a good time, maybe you'd consider hitting that subscribe button and come back tomorrow because I am making a new video every day.
People believe this man is actually Elvis Presley. Many people believe Elvis Presley faked his own
Expiration
for protection against the mafia, and there was no evidence until the rumors came about. A man named Bob Joyce, who's a pastor living in a small town in Arkansas. Many people believe this is Elvis Presley. There have supposedly been sights of Bob Joyce at Elvis's house Graceland on Christmas, and this isn't even the scariest part. Bob Joyce was said to have attended Elvis Presley's daughter's funeral. There's many of other signs that Bob Joyce could be Elvis Presley living out his older days without the fame, including the fact that no man has ever come close to singing like Elvis Presley except Bob Joyce. Bob Joyce is a very religious man who owns a church. It was told Elvis Presley had gotten very religious towards the end of his life and wanted to find himself. Many believe we will see Bob Presley reveal the truth very soon and open up about things. Is there even a chance it's him?
Now, they say that there is up to 7 people on the planet walking around that have the exact same fate. But that guy did look an awful lot like Elvis, didn't he? There was a couple other videos that I had slated to go in that spot, and unfortunately there was music on them that I couldn't use, but they do show a lot of facial similarities, like they did the cross face, this face is Elvis and this face is this other guy. And there's an awful lot of resemblance. So you never know, right?
Is this man actually Elvis? At the age of 42, the world lost an icon. But even though many people believe that he faked his own
Reverse birthing
death for protection against the mafia, there hasn't been any conclusive proof until now. Well, you see, recently a man who was a psychiatric patient claimed to be Elvis. Of course, no one believed him, and eventually the therapist who was attending to him told him to go take a DNA test if you really are Elvis. However, after the test results got back, not only did Jesse's DNA match up to Elvis's DNA, but to both sides of his parents as well. According to historical records, Elvis actually had an identical twin that wasn't as healthy. And interestingly enough, his name was Jesse Garen Presley. Is it possible that upon Jesse's
Untimely demise.
the bodies were swapped, and the real Elvis assumed the role of Jesse? Even though you can watch the full video by clicking on the link in the description below, many people are asking the question.
Don't you think there would be just a little more publicity if we found out that the king was still alive? But if he was in witness protection and he's been crazy, you know, an insane asylum is a great place to keep somebody that's in witness protection. But then he's all like, "Oh, I'm Elvis." Yeah, they wouldn't want that to be out. So I guess it makes sense. So ignore the fact that I think there would be more publicity about the king being alive. But there would still be more publicity about this person that has the same DNA. Right? Yeah. Elvis has left the building, y'all.
Y'all can't tell me that some of these celebrities aren't living forever. Watch this.
I'm not saying people can't look alike, but when you take a now famous person and compare it to paintings of famous people in the past and they look exactly alike with the same medical conditions, it really raises an eyebrow. And it's just crazy how some of these old paintings or posters just capture a certain essence of a person's personality. You could guess who that was if you didn't even compare it. You don't see it though? An old king of Spain and Mark Zuckerberg? Okay. Dustin, you should grow that beard out again. This is one I know a lot of people have seen. Tell me it don't look like him though. Doppelganger, clone, vampire, I don't know. All I know... Oh, that explains a lot. Maybe there's a little drug that helps them not age. Though sometimes I can see it being a stretch. It's just times like this where they look too much alike. I mean, he's just a bit fluffier. And maybe they swapped genders. I don't have all the answers, guys. And the list goes on. Maybe they're of the same bloodline. Maybe they've been drinking blood. Maybe they're... I know it is said we all have 7 people who look like us. Yeah, I've heard it before.
There was a few in there that I hadn't seen before, and they're pretty uncanny. They look an awful lot alike. And I guess these are celebrities that have been here for so long, and they're the ones that are building their bunkers right now because we're going to have our fake alien invasion this year, and that's going to trigger the reset. So they have to stay in their bunkers and be safe. Otherwise, you know, humanity doesn't carry on this planet, right?
Did you know that Michael Jackson aimed to live up to 150 years and made significant efforts towards this goal? The King of Pop used a glass chamber, allegedly to delay aging, worth $100,000. In 1986, he took this iconic photo inside the chamber. It is claimed that Michael said, "I want to live to see a world of peace, without hunger, where children and all humanity do not suffer. I believe that if I treat my body right, I could live to at least 150 years old." But were these words of Michael true? The claim that Michael Jackson entered an oxygen chamber to delay aging has been a long circulating rumor. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is a method used to increase the body's oxygen intake and heal various health issues. In reality, this therapy provides oxygen under pressure to wounds, improving the healing time for burns. Michael wanted to try and showcase this new machine which he encountered while receiving burn treatment at a hospital. Jackson, who had donated $1.05 million to a hospital, wanted to promote the burn treatment machine purchased by the hospital with $100,000 of his donation. Thus, the media, as usual, speculated about Michael.
Well, I was hoping that video was going to be a little better. I didn't know it was going to say, here's what the media made it out to be, and here's what really happened. That's not fun. Don't worry, I got more. Here we go.
Is Michael Jackson really gone? The rumor that Michael Jackson faked his
Life revocation?
death is still well and alive. However, despite all the evidence, it only remained a rumor. until recently when some documents were leaked that Michael had a body double that allegedly was buried in his place. Well, you see, apparently MJ had tons of body doubles. However, his number one body double, Dmitry Dravkaskescu specifically, spent 3 years to transform into MJ using acting coaches and plastic surgery. However, sadly at the age of 47, he was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and Michael made sure that he lived in comfort for the rest of his days. But this also gave Michael the idea of having Dmitry buried in his place so he could fake his
Loss of life.
This was later discussed with Dmitry, and a huge sum of money was paid out to his family the day MJ's
Pulse cessation.
death was reported. But despite this, many people are still wondering if
So, Michael Jackson's body double is in his grave, huh? What's Michael Jackson doing? I mean, Neverland Ranch is not up and running, so, is he living somewhere? Doing what? I don't think that his body double is in his grave. I really don't. I think that Michael Jackson, finally succumbed to his lifestyle, and it's really sad. But what do you think? Do you think he's still alive? Do you have videos that show proof of where he is, what he's doing? Let me know. I'd like to know.
There's this guy. His name is like Dave, I think.
Dave.
He looks exactly like how Michael Jackson, because I guess they say that Michael Jackson, he has a prosthetic nose. Obviously it's disfigured because like he was burned. You know what I mean? That left his face disfigured and everything. But they say that like it burned off his whole nose, so he would have this prosthetic nose. And without it, he looked like a completely different dude. And so this guy, Dave, is what a lot of people think is the real Michael Jackson. After he faked his
Living situation.
he became Dave because that's what he truly was. His face is all disfigured. And they look and sound exactly alike.
So this Dave guy, he's claiming that he's Michael Jackson.
No,
He's not
no.
claiming he's Michael Jackson. He's claiming he's Dave, but everyone's assuming that this is Michael Jackson.
I don't like this theory because what this poor kid went through, this gentleman went through as a child. 7 years old, his father set fire to him trying to take his life, and that's devastating alone mentally. And then the horrible disfigurement that he had to live with, and then being accused of being Michael Jackson. That's poor guy just wanted to live his life and be loved, and he didn't get that. And then the media turned around and turned him into a sideshow. That sucks.
Paul McCartney is an imposter. When the Beatles album Sgt. Pepper was released, people noticed that there was something odd about Paul McCartney, specifically how his ear shape had changed, sparking a theory that the Paul McCartney that everyone knows today actually
Resigned.
in a car crash and was replaced. Due to his popularity and not wanting the public to be heartbroken, the Beatles ran a lookalike competition to find someone who could replace McCartney, and they found someone. However, the Beatles started to feel quite guilty and started leaving little clues to hint at the tragedy. Some of the findings that led to this theory was that the cover of the Sgt. Pepper album consists of flowers in the shape of Paul's left-handed bass, while the Hindu god Shiva was pointing at McCartney. And on Abbey Road, McCartney is the only one that was walking on a step, barefooted, leading some fans wondering if
So Paul McCartney isn't really Paul McCartney, huh? I thought he was a reptilian.
Paul McCartney
Quit living.
in 1966 and they replaced him. The conspiracy goes that Paul had passed away in a car wreck in November 9th while leaving Abbey Road, the place where their studio used to be. Now they were so famous and were just on the rise to success that they were making too much and they didn't want things to stop. So supposedly they covered it up and held a lookalike audition for Paul McCartney. the winner took his spot. Now these are the details I find pretty convincing. The original Paul had a different facial structure from the new one. The original one had a shorter chin, darker eyes, and a smaller nose. The newer fake Paul lookalike has a longer chin, elongated face, and colored eyes. Also, Paul and Ringo used to be around the same height, but that all changed right after 1966. Suspicious. One fan noticed that they were leaving hidden secret messages in their music, like in their song called I'm the Walrus. Walrus means corpse. A couple years later, after that song, they released another song. And in that song, I kid you not, it says, well, here's another clue for all of you. The walrus was Paul. Tastes like your mama's booty. Things even get more suspicious. In the Sgt. Pepper's album cover, if you hold up a mirror in the center of the drum, there is a number 1 with the word 1 next to it. Then the Roman numeral for 9. And then the words, he
Unlive.
all together spelling 11-9, he
Don't live.
hinting at his passing on November 9th. Should I do a part 2?
I like watching this guy's videos because he's always like cutting food and it always gives me a little bit of anxiety. I mean, I can live without the your mama's booty part, but what are you going to do? I like that he threw in a lot of evidence-based evidence, right? Yeah, that's what it's called. But like the facial features, how the facial features were different, the height differences, that kind of helped prove it. I don't necessarily believe that it's true, but I like hearing the things that are offered as proof. So that's really cool.
Have you heard the crazy conspiracy theory that celebrities get mentally frozen at the age that they got famous? These examples will explain a lot. Taylor Swift has confirmed that she is a victim of this conspiracy theory.
You know, there's this thing people say about celebrities that they're frozen at the age they got famous, and that's kind of what happened to me.
Her pathological people-pleasing is definitely a quality of an agreeable, shy teenage girl. The arrested development of celebrities may offer an explanation as to why Leonardo DiCaprio only goes for women under 25. As he got worldwide famous in 1996 when he was 22. His type back then was ingenue, stereotypical supermodels who were his age, and they grew out of that, but he never did. Don't turn 25, baby, you're too sexy. An extreme example could be Michael Jackson, who got famous when he started performing at the age 5. And without getting into the dark side to respect everyone involved, he did admit he bought the Neverland Ranch to be a sanctuary for kids to have a perfect childhood experience that he never got to have because of fame. And maybe he saw himself in those kids. I think there's more to the eternally 12 birthday cake Mariah Carey always has. Selena Gomez got worldwide famous when she was a preteen. Maybe that could explain why she's addicted to middle school drama. Before I tell you the craziest example, for a deeper dive in this theory with these examples and more examples, go check out the video version on YouTube and the audio version for my podcast. The craziest example of this that got me really thinking about this week is when Miranda Cosgrove said she has never drinking before because she's never had a reason to. What a strange thing to say. And she doesn't smoke and will only swear a little bit, but she thinks it's like endearing, like when it's funny when a little kid swears and everyone laughs. And then I got to thinking, oh my god, she's frozen at 5 years old, Drake and Josh. She's frozen at Megan.
I figured since we were on the topic of celebrities, that one fit right in there nicely. It is interesting how people just stop growing up at a certain age, but you become influenced by a lot of outside factors, and it's really easy to revert back to what you remember as normalcy, I suppose. Well, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate your time, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Here's my cutting room floor. 3, 2, 1. There's a bad word here. Now, they say that there is up to 7 people on the planet walking around that have the exact same face. And reverse birthing. The king is still alive. My uncle actually also looks an awful lot like Elvis. Expired. The dog just farted. Reverse birthed. And for that, I apologize. What are you gonna do? So I was wrong. Ignore me. If you haven't seen her, Molly Schuyler. She's a competitive eater. My husband says I look a lot like her. But I can't eat like her. Oh my god, I wish I could be that skinny and eat like that. Reverse birthing. Not that the king was still alive. Less than alive. Elvis has left the building. I ruined it. Stay behind to repopulate the earth or something. Right? We don't need scientists or engineers or anything like that. No, we need celebrities. Because what are we going to do without the celebrities? I'm not allowed to have any fun. they're the ones that are going to carry on. Re, re, re something. King is still alive. How many resets have we had? And they're all still here. They must have to stay. No, that's not what really happened. This one is news to me. That seems a little bit. I know that doesn't have anything to do with celebrities that are not alive, that we think are still alive or are replaced. That was not necessary. It was unimportant.